Good evening, everyone. It's family time on another Monday afternoon. It's been a while since you've seen me, and I'm hoping that you are doing well. My name is O'Neill Campbell, and again, it's great to be with you. I'm sure many of my fans have missed me, but it's always a pleasure to be here on another Monday. And we have another wonderful topic to speak about this afternoon. So we will not waste any time. We'll get right into it because we have quite a bit to cover. So today, family time, of course, before we get into that, is about your issues, your relationships, your at-home family, your community family, and your global family. Family time is produced by Family Life Ministries, and our aim is to enable healthy families, which will lead to healthy nations. So stay with us and please connect with us via all our platforms. Friends, be friends on us or join us on Facebook at FLM-Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries-FLMJA. And on Instagram, keep up with us in terms of what's happening, FLMJA. While Family Time is a family program, we'd like to caution that it may, on the odd occasion, touch on what some may consider mature subject matters. Your discretion is advised. Again, I'm O'Neill Campbell, and our topic is being chaste during courtship. Not CHASED. Nobody is not running it down in this show. No, it is CHASTE. So you can use that for classes, of course, teachers. CHASED is not what we're talking about, but CHASTE, chaste, as in not having any sexual nature or intention. That's the focus of our discussion today. So say you're in a very close relationship and the temptation is high. Sometimes it's really hot. What do? A premarital life of chaste, content, disciplined singleness is a beautiful gift. But very few people, even Christians, seem to be able to hold out. So let's deal with that topic today. We're talking about being chaste during courtship. Here's your question of the day. What do you, or let's say again, what do or did you do to remain chaste during courtship? What do or did you do to remain chaste during courtship? Send that to WhatsApp, text, or voice notes, no longer than 30 seconds, please, to 9973125. That's 876-997-3125. Or call the studio lines, 876-968-8327 to 8 to participate. You can watch us and comment on live on Love 101 Facebook and YouTube. We'll be right back with our very special guest, Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar. Please don't go anywhere.
On Tuesday, June 4, The Rock will look at the topic marriage. The definition is really simple. Marriage is a legally or formally recognized union of a man and a woman as partners in a personal relationship. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, what is marriage? Where are the thin lines and the broad strokes? How does a marriage really last? 50, 60, 70 years? And what is allowed in God's eyes and which marriages get his approval touch? It's The Rock, Tuesday, June 4, 10 a.m. with guest Minister Carl Morrison and Lakim Samaj. The Rock is on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Family Time here on Love 101. Love to say that. All right, so let's get straight into it, of course. We're, of course, going to be speaking with the wonderfully gifted Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar. So welcome back to Family Time, and our special guest is Bishop Dunbar. Many things, including marriage officer, author, a marriage, sexual, and sex counseling therapist, and a motivational speaker. Dr. Dunbar, Bishop Dunbar, how are you doing this evening? Can you hear me? Bishop Dunbar, I seem to be having a little challenge here. All right, we're one step closer. I'm seeing her. Yeah, there we
Okay,
go.
great. Are you hearing me now?
Hearing you loud and clear. How are you doing?
I am good, thank you. I'm giving thanks.
Looking wonderful as usual.
Thank you
Glowing.
so much. I am happy that I'm not looking how I'm feeling. I'm feeling tired.
All right. So, of course, as I said, there's so much that we um, have to go through because time is always limited, especially when we speak about certain hot topics, and which you are known for speaking about some wonderful, interesting topics. So, there's so much that we don't talk about when it comes to this very important issue of being chaste. It's hard, yet we're still expected to take responsibility for our purity. And what comes to mind, of course, is passion and purity, that movement. So we have the tips and tricks to keep you until you reach the altar. Being chaste during courtship is our topic today, and this is our question to you. What do you or do you do to remain chaste during courtship? Of course, WhatsApp your text and voice notes to 876-9973125. And of course, you can follow us on live on Facebook, Love 101, Facebook, and YouTube. Our call is studio lines 968-8327, 968-8328. That's precluding that is 876. Remember to keep it PG. We'll keep it going right away and get into our discussion. So, Bishop Dunbar, what is chastity and being chaste to the Christian couple?
Well, I think it's self-explanatory. To be chaste and to practice chastity is really to abstain from getting into sensuality or matters that are prohibited. You know, sexual relationship, as you talk about coitus, that's what it really is. That is supposed to be reserved for married persons.
Got you. That, as you said, that is pretty clear. Okay, so there's always, or there seems to be for, I don't know if you'd say for different couples, how they engage. I mean, there are generally things that are clear no-nos, but some persons might be okay with kissing or some kind of touching. I don't know where how far they go, but for you, what would you deem based on your expansive viewing of couples and situations like this? What would you say is allowed?
Well, the truth is, anything that is sensual and sexual ought to be avoided. Foreplay is intended to take you somewhere. There's a destination for that. So you don't engage in something that is to take you somewhere unless you're intending to go to that place.
Right.
You understand? So I think anything that is going to elicit in you and the other person a sexual response should definitely, you should definitely stay away from it. It makes no sense to enter, to allow yourself to be in a space where you can be tempted. The
Right.
devil does not care about your Christian convictions. When he's tempted, he really doesn't care. All he's interested in is to ensure that you fall. Right? He doesn't
Right.
care how saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost you are. He doesn't care how much of a Bible scholar you are. His only intent is to cause you to fall into that temptation. Right? So you should value your integrity, your Christian integrity, your relationship with the Lord enough to obey the Lord. He tells you, that you should not do this. It is very clear in 1 Corinthians 6. It is there, verses 12 through 19. It's very clear. He tells you that he loves you, he cares about you, and engaging in this kind of activity, what it will do to your body, not just your body, but body, spirit, and soul. So he cares about you enough to tell you not to participate in anything like that or to engage anything like that. So in terms of if you should be kissing, and there's kiss and there's kiss, by the way. There are different levels of kissing.
Well, go ahead. Touch it a little bit.
There's different kinds of kissing, right? If
Yes.
we talk French kissing, we talk about choups, right? Deep kissing, that kind of a thing. And those things are meant to take you somewhere. So I'm not giving you brotherly troops and our peck
Yes.
on the cheek,
Yes.
right? If you're courting someone, it is natural that you're going to have sensual feelings for these persons, right? So that's why I'm saying, don't try to engage in something that is going to want to take you further. You know, if you're going
Right.
to the river and the current is strong, expect to be swept down
Yes.
because that's the current. If you enter into the kissing and the petting and the different kind of things that is intended to take you to a climax, then that's where you're going to end up.
All right. So I know I don't, unless you say so. I don't think you intend to fully, like, say you're gonna determine or dictate each
No,
individual relationship,
no,
but
I
at the
don't.
same time,
People
right,
make their choices, but
right,
I am guiding you
but
simply,
at the same
you
time,
know. Yeah.
right, but at the same time, what I'm saying is, even the troops then or whatever, um, obviously there's, you said there's destinations, but do you believe that every interaction has to be one that it's going to take it down a road, or it can be one that is a light, let's say pick on the cheek then, and that is okay for couples, or you would suggest generally then, let's say a higher percentage to avoid it because you don't want to get yourself in a problem.
All right.
Yes,
So
yes, I'm cornering you a bit.
I know. So I'm here not to determine how far a couple goes. That is really and truly supposed to be left to the couple to decide. Age does not necessarily speak to maturity. We don't know how mature you are. And again, the devil does not care about your Christian maturity. So again,
Yes.
your responsibility to protect yourself, right? So certainly I don't think that persons always do these things in order to go further. But that's what I'm saying. You might not intend to go further. And let me tell you something. The first step to being deceived is to believe that you cannot be deceived.
Yes.
You
Say that
understand?
again. Say that again for those in the
The
back.
first step in being deceived is to believe that you cannot be deceived. You understand? You cannot be tempted. You know, I have this man, my obvious it locked. You believe that that cannot happen, and that's the first step in being deceived, is to believe that you can't. You understand? So you have to resist the urge for any form of that kind of intimacy. Because you know, intimacy really speaks to more than one thing. Intimacy is not just with somebody that you are in a courtship relationship with, right? So I don't even want to use the word intimacy here as a blanket statement, right? But you have to protect yourself and resist anything that is of a more sexually intimate nature when you're on a date, when you're going through courtship. It's a personal decision, and it's really based on your values and the boundaries that you will set and your comfort level. But at the end of the day, the law of physics says what? For every action, there's an equal and greater reaction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to be careful.
Got you. All right, so we're coming quick and fast to our first break. Any final thoughts you want to speak to on that, on anything that we didn't cover up with you that you want to speak with?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying sexual relationship is not meant for persons who are single. It doesn't matter if you're engaged. It's not a
Mm,
license. You
okay.
understand? It's not
Yes,
a
yes.
license, but certainly you can be tempted. Remember that you're created as sensual human being. You're created with your healthy sexuality, right? Which is to be kept and expressed at the right time, which would be marriage, right? I'm not saying that you will not have desires and feelings. You will, but self-control is a fruit of the spirit, and you must exercise it.
Got you. Let's stick right there. All right, so remember to tell us, what do you do, or did you do to remain chaste during courtship? We're looking forward to what you have to say, but remember, PG, people, PG. WhatsApp, text, and voice notes to 876-997-3125. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 Facebook and YouTube, or call the studio lines 876-968-8327 or 8328. And just so you know, the numbers for the head office in Kingston are 876-920-1034, 926-8101. Our time now is just about 5:45 p.m. We'll go to a quick break and we'll be right back.
How can you save? Saving can seem like a dream for many at the best of times. But here are a few ways you can kick off your saving journey. 1. Open a savings account at a regulated financial institution. 2. Develop a budget. 3. Track your spending.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. You are a dedicated small business owner dreaming big of growing your business and reaching new heights. With Access Financial Services, you can grow from where you are to where you want to be. Grow from a corner shop to your very own store, from truck driver to trucking fleet, from hairdresser to your own salon. Secure your small business loan of up to $20 million and watch as your business grows from plan to possibilities. Grow your business today with Access Financial Services. Conditions apply.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. Whether you're friend or your family, somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Receive words of strength from the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis.
The battle of seed has been declared many years ago and is still raging. I will put enmity between thee and between the woman, thy seed and her seed. A war will be on perpetually until Jesus returns. But I know who has already won the war. I know who has already won the war.
That's the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis, brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries International in Portmore. Voice of Power comes to you every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Speak, my Lord. Speak, my Lord. Speak, and I will answer. Lord, send me.
Make we keep Jamaica clean. Me as if we keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica clean. Our duty to keep our island clean. Mobile to Kingston, sidewalk and beach. Bag it, bin it, recycle it, please. Proper garbage disposal, make we do it. Keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Welcome back to Love 101. It's of course family time right here, and our topic today, our discussion is being chaste, CHASTE for the spelling bee wizards, during courtship, not CHASED. All right. So Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar is with us today, and she's well renowned for easily speaking to and covering any questions that you have when it comes to any of these particular topics. And so we have her on the line, or with us today, and we covered a few topics earlier, or a few just basically brushing the surface, breaking the ice, and we're going to go into some further discussion. All right, so Bishop Dunbar, again, we basically are saying the troops, as a producer mentioned, troops can be sensual, so you have to be careful of even the little troops. And so, sometimes the best thing is if your desire is to have the long-term success and avoid some of the pitfalls, you have to be focused, intentional, right, and disciplined to just say, listen, you know what, we'll leave this alone until we get married, and then you enjoy the fruits of your abstinence or your restraint, because so many couples, I'm sure you've seen it and heard about couples that started off okay, got engaged, and it seems as if, as you rightfully said, it's, I don't know what that trigger is, a switch flicks. When you engage, you feel as if you're married already. You're not. And then disaster happens, and then, you know, so many stories. So, you know, have to be very careful. So
that is what we say. That's why I
right.
said intentional. When you're courting, I think each time, you know, you're going to meet, I just think it's just okay to just plan your courting times, the times that you're going to spend together, because you must spend time together. You want to know each other, you want to know more about each other, but plan out the time properly and entirely. I generally say that to young people. I don't mean young people, anybody, because the young fall and the old fall. Everybody has the built-in design.
Hold on, that may I interject. If you allow me, Ishan, because you know how it go, right? But you said some important things. You said plan out the time.
Entirely.
So well, I know what you know. They are that together are group. What because I know you want alone time, you know, but you just say alone time in the day to be safe and not or something like that. Maybe it's a park or so, or what how you look at it, because we don't want to be too, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't think that intercourse knows a time. You know what I mean?
No, I'm saying to be safe. Yes, you're right. You know,
to be safe is a place.
Public.
To be safe is
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
like dating in a public or a public space or an environment that is not conducive to that kind of a thing happening. That's why I'm saying I generally tell young people, especially the younger ones, because you have more mature people who are in courting relationship, right?
Right.
So the devil will respect your age. Right, but I said to them, plan out a date entirely. I mean, even up to your exit strategy. I mean, don't leave don't leave any part of the dating time. So you're going to date for 2 hours. Plan it out from the moment you meet to the end, and an exit strategy just in case. It's a wise person. It's not stupid to do that. It's wisdom. You understand, to be able to do that, because guess what? If you're courting somebody, it obviously means that you're attracted to the person.
Right.
Pretty obvious. You understand? So that's why I'm saying plan it out if you feel, you know, if you think that there's a possibility. Because sometimes you can know, you know.
Right.
So if you think that there's a possibility, plan out everything, man. And limit for the times that you're going to spend, what you're going to be doing in the time. Fill the time with things that are non-sexual.
All right, so watch me now. Some guidelines now that we want to touch in terms of, I guess you'd say, do's and don'ts. And you're speaking to some of these things. Could you go into some of the areas specifically that are some red flags or no-nos, stoplight, and some that maybe I don't know, are green or whatever, how you want to term it, right? But one of the things is, do not lie on his or her bed. Lord of mercy. Wait, first of all, but before you reach the bed, that means you're reaching at the house. Lord
exactly. That's exactly. And like I said, going on dates in secluded, you know, ambered spaces, you know, where you are alone together, you're eating. Can you imagine you're sitting across somebody eating an ice cream, for instance? You know, do you know how you look doing all of that? So I'm saying, so choose the places and choose what you do. You don't reach home yet. Don't reach home yet. You understand? But there's the place. You're sitting in the theater, you're in dark space.
The famous movie theater. In the dark.
The famous place. Dark spaces. You understand? Spaces where there are not a lot of person or there are not a lot of visibility. All those things are red flags for persons who are dating. And especially, like I said, especially if you have been more than like if you have been active sexually, right? Because some people may have been, right? The temptation, I'm not saying the temptation might be higher, but I think the risk is greater.
Well, right? Sorry, go ahead. Finish your point.
If that is the case where you have engaged before, I mean, we all shouldn't, let me just get it clear. You're not supposed to enter into any of those activities pre-marriage.
That's it.
But I'm just saying, just in case it has happened before, you have stopped. You have given your life to the Lord. You're turning over a new leaf. You're on a new page. You know, chastity is the thing, and you're abstaining. And so don't set yourself up for failure.
Yes.
By going into spaces and places. You said it a while ago, don't lie down on the bed. You reach far. You're not supposed to be in the bedroom in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, you come from again. All right.
You reach the bedroom. Or you pass the living room and the kitchen.
Right. So I have so we have a couple that were listed, right? and there's one that catch my eye, and there's one that I'm gonna kind of throw out there, right, to give myself a little trouble as I usually do. But okay, so there's one: no kissing, romancing, groping, and grabbing. Grabbing where? Oh Jesus, you know, don't know those places not to grab, right? No, this one, the pet name, romantic name. If, you know, it's easy to say babes and honey and even before you marry. But so are you hard and fast that you should avoid those types of things pre-marriage if you're not even close to that goal, or what you know, or people just use it as cliche almost?
I'm not hard and fast on it. You know, I do, because persons are developing a relationship, and it depends on how far they are in the relationship. Of course, if you just meet as strangers, I mean, babies are very loose word these days. But if you just reach out meet, I don't think you're going into endearment. But you're getting closer to each other over time. I mean, you're getting deeper into the relationship, all of that. You may start using endearments. I'm not hard and fast on it. I'm just saying that the boundaries, if the boundaries are put in place,
yes,
initial stages, and we are very clear in communicating what will happen and what will not happen, because everybody has to set their individual boundaries, you know. So
yes,
we're on what will happen and what will not happen, what I'm comfortable with, what my value system is, and we're clear on that. Then I will communicate that, the limits and what's off limit. And I think the endearments can go, nothing with, I don't think anything is necessarily wrong. I mean, it can elicit a thought, you know, I belong.
Yes, I have one, and then you can add any others that you have seen or heard or experienced through your counseling. All right, so how about book a hotel for us, but it's 7. People, for those who are real, if you see her face when I mentioned
no, because I do. All right, so
I got a separate beds.
I do an annual getaway for families each year. I take singles as well, and I have singles who have met their spouses at these retreats that I do.
Oh, wonderful.
Intended
Yes.
for purpose.
Yes.
Right? Married couples, I take families, I take singles.
Right.
Booking singles, 3 single female in a room or 3 single male in a room. Not together. That's the recipe for disaster. You understand? It's a recipe for disaster. Not saying that there are persons who have not done it, you know. And
yes.
Falling. But
right.
I'm not.
High risk.
Very high risk. And I'm saying again, why rub the butter at the post mouth?
Why rub the butter at the post mouth? Couldn't say it better. You know, I was just teased there because you know, persons have there to tempt that temptation, you know, book hotel, and you know what there's so much opportunities for intimacy that, and you're not, you don't want to you know, expose yourself.
No intention.
Right.
Always remember, you have no intention, but the devil have every intention.
Wow, I love that. Say that again. Somebody needs to write that. That'll be a hashtag. Even if you have no intention.
Yeah, but the devil
have every intention.
Because every opportunity is an opportune time for the devil, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every opportunity. People, you have to listen to that, say it again, you know. Every opportunity. I love it. Every opportunity.
That opportunity time. Yeah, it's an opportune time for the enemy to cause you to fall.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. He's about setting you up for failure.
Wow. Yes. 10-15 seconds. Anything else that pops to in your mind that needs, you know, other red flags that you've seen that we haven't listed already?
So that one that what you talk about, going into the private spaces, and the grabbing and the touching.
Right. Sorry, Doc. Sorry to interrupt. I do remember that. I want you to carry it over into our next segment. We're gonna jump into WTF, being chaste during courtship, moments with Reverend Mike. Let's listen to that as we approach the 6 p.m. call time. Go right ahead, studio.
For the sake of broadcast media rules, I will substitute the English word sex with the Hebrew word yada for this WTF talk. Yada between a man and a woman is an enjoyable part of God's human design. Yada is not wrong or ungodly. But yada outside of marriage is inappropriate and considered sin or missing God's best for you. Genesis 4:1 introduces us to Yada shortly after God created man and woman. It says, "And Adam Yada Eve his wife, and she conceived." After this introduction to Yada, the Bible speaks of Yada outside of marriage as inappropriate, missing God's best, and therefore to be avoided. Here's some Bible help on how to avoid yada outside of marriage. Number 1, develop and practice self-control. Incidentally, self-control is part of the fruit of the Spirit, so supernatural help is available to develop and practice self-control. Number 2, run from situations that will pressure you to give up your self-control. Situations such as alcohol, isolation with your fiance, friends who don't share your values. Number 3, talk to your fiancé and to God about your choice to avoid yada before marriage. Here's why. Firstly, God created you to have yada, and He also added self-control as part of the fruit of His Holy Spirit. So He would be happy to have a conversation with you on the niceness of yada, but His need for you to do the yada yada inside of marriage. Secondly, you and your fiancé need to be in full agreement about avoiding yada before marriage. I'm Reverend Mike from Fellowship Tabernacle, and we just had a WTF moment.
Love 101 invites you to set your day before it begins with midnight prayer and praise, Mondays at midnight. It's the third prayer watch, a period of much spiritual activity. You will be strengthened during this time of prayer and praise. Midnight prayer and praise is during the third watch of the night, the time to strengthen yourself spiritually and seek direction. Time to command your day. Midnight prayer and praise, Mondays at midnight through to 3 a.m. early Tuesday morning. 3 hours to set your day with prayers offered in each hour. Midnight prayer and praise is on the family station, Love 101.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out.
Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Forgive me, listeners and viewers. I'm just thinking about Reverend Mike. Boy, that man is something else. I've the yada yada. I don't know if I'll ever be able to think about SEX the same way again. Boy, Reverend Mike, you are really the best. Welcome back. It is 3 minutes past the hour of 6. You're tuned to Love 101. This, of course, is Family Time. Once here, Reverend Mike with WTF, it's Family Time. Brought to you by Family Life Ministries, FLM. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Our discussion this evening is being chaste during courtship, CHASTE. Flee all appearance of evil is what the Bible says. What does that mean? And to be honest, what is evil? May not look evil to some of us. We'll move into our next segment. Dr. Dunbar did an amazing job, of course, just dovetailing through some of the topics or some of the areas of concern, the red flags. You know, when I'm looking at that alarm there. Yeah, maybe maybe if you install one of those things,
Where?
And then the couples when they're married, right? And anything's where I go on, they don't see this alarm. They'll be scared out of their wits, right? I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that, guys. Don't worry about it. So we move into the next important area of discussion. And I did mention something, just teasingly, but also seriously. So when staying overnight anywhere, right? One of the things is you want to be careful. Do not sleep in the same room with your partner. And Dr. Dunbar had spoken about that to some extent, but we want to expound a little bit on some other areas, some other tips that persons have to be very careful about. Doc, let's speak about pictures and text messages. You know, we talked about sexting and different things. I like that, and it's more sensual or physical or fleshy than spiritual. Take us through some of these areas, and also sometimes the attire that persons are
Yes,
wearing around their partners. So go right ahead.
the conversations. Yes, and the conversations we talk. Yes.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry. Producer don't like to be mentioned, but she said shot color. Oh boy, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but, as we said, don't sleep in the same room, same bed, and avoid the conversation. You talk about pictures. Remember that,
Mhm.
especially male, female, guys are visually aroused. This is
Yes,
me saying it, this is the Bible. You understand? So it's the conduct that they watch, right? So they are visually aroused. So be careful of
yes, we are.
the kind of photographs you share. You mean you might look nice and you look sexy and you look nice and all, but how do they see that?
Right.
What is that portraying to them? So you have to be careful about that. And the conversation, we are told not to have conversations that are of any sexual nature, speak about in any manner. I think one of the things we have to get from the beginning, foundationally, right? Because it don't make no sense to put on a band-aid on something, or to not be preventative. I think one of the foundation is to understand when we're talking about chaste and we're talking about purity, is to understand that sex is supposed to be a pure thing. It's something that's supposed to be honoring God. So that's how you have to think about it in the first place, that it is a pure thing, and if it is a pure thing, then you don't engage in it with any form of impurity. So your conversations, you're having conversation, you're just talking loosely. The Bible talks about idle jesting and coarse talking and all of those things. So you don't get in conversations that is going to also illicit. Because remember, when another man and a woman, if you think about Solomon and his Shumite wife, it's the compliments, it's the lyrics, that he speaks and she speaks,
Right.
that helps to elicit, because a part of foreplay is also talk. You understand? So I would say don't engage in certain kind of conversation. Don't talk about intimacy too much.
Yeah.
While
One
you
of the things. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. One of the things, as you mentioned, generally us men are more the
yes,
visual types.
you
Not
are.
that ladies, of course, ladies can see; they're not blind. But generally, we are the visual beings. But you spoke about something important. You know, when I think about my years of different relationships and stuff like that, we know and triggers that will appeal to the lady. So the words that we use, as I said, for the lady, it starts first in the mind, and when we capture that attention and we use the words, we know what is drawing their attention.
Exactly.
And so we have to be very careful that we don't manipulate, especially with someone that we say we care about and love and are planning to marry, and then we manipulate that process, because as much as a person would be, as I said, chaste and within themselves, when they're around you, the guard comes down, because this is the person that they are seeing their future with. So it's not like it's some random guy on the road that they're already putting up their walls and they're saying, hands off. This is the person that they're close to. And as I said, it's easy. The line is so thin between keeping yourself to yourself and then falling over that line and getting into trouble. So we as men, I would say to us, appeal to us out there, for those who are planning to be married, those who are close to getting married, etc. Do not get into the lady's head, so to speak. Nobody get in her head, because it's if you know the buttons to press and the triggers, she can easily fall prey to that, and then you live lives of regret. So I would just
But ladies have a responsibility to protect themselves too. The Bible talks about guarding your heart. You
great
understand?
point. Yes,
You have a responsibility to not entertain. You
great.
understand?
Yes,
Because
flee the very appearance of evil,
you
as
have
you said
to
earlier.
understand your own vulnerability.
Yeah,
You should try to understand your own vulnerability so that you don't leave yourself open and susceptible to things that will cause you to give
yes,
in. You understand, to whatever, even if it's pressures or not. So that's why I'm saying leave sensual stuff out of it. I'm not saying you should avoid the whole matter altogether. But there's a time and place. Choose the context of
yes,
conversations, right? So that you know where it's going, right? So it doesn't go to a place where it's It's lyrics that is going to cause you know to have all sorts of feelings that is going to lead you down a slippery slope.
Right. Doc, I want to conduct Bible study, praying and stuff, but it has to be in a dimly lit or that just use a phone light to have the
Are you
the
sure
Bible
that's Bible
study.
study, by the way?
Sorry?
You need
What did you say? I think you're muted.
What is it that we are creating? Sorry, Bible study. Are we creating an ambience? You mean in a dimly lit room? Have
Yes,
you
man,
seen churches how bright they
a
are?
nice. No,
You
man,
ever
this
seen anybody turned down?
my future
I'm not
wife.
hearing you.
Oh,
Something happening?
you hearing me now?
Not hearing you at all.
Oh, at all.
Go again.
Is that? Can you hear me?
I on, but I
Want to check the volume?
all right. Hello, are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you.
No,
Can you hear
I'm
me?
so sorry. I don't know what went on just now.
Okay, producer, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I am sorry, but I'm not
All right.
hearing you.
All right, we're just gonna jump to a quick break and see if we can get rid of any of these kinks. So we'll be right back. We take a quick break and come right back to family time.
Receive the word.
Between the woman, thy seed and her seed. A war will be on perpetually until Jesus returns. But I know who has already won the war. I know. I am a man. On the next episode of the paper, woman taken her majority has been put on the topic 54 acting. Bishop Virginia, 23 years old, self-taught acting. Look to what he's taking here, despite the challenges that he has faced in life. He's grateful to have developed big heart, his skills, while being a born of the day. You're invited to join us as we put in the part with the following. Self-taught acting on Wednesday, 25 and 5:30 p.m. on the family station. Love number one. Good meal.
Welcome back. I'm hoping that we have been able to get through all the technical issues. Bishop Dr. Carter Dunbar is our very special guest, and today we're speaking about what do you do or did you do to remain chaste during courtship. WhatsApp, text, and voice notes to 876-997-3125. Post on our Love 101 FM, Facebook, or YouTube Live. pages and channels, and call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 8. Dr. Dunbar, are you with us? Can you hear me? I'll give her a few moments to have that started out. While we're awaiting Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar's return, just briefly looking at some of the things that we were speaking about. So one of the no-nos or the don'ts is when staying overnight anywhere, do not sleep in the same room with your partner. So you have, I would believe that it's best to have other persons there, and you avoid that type of interaction at all. No flirting, sex chats or yada chats, according to Reverend Mike, and nude pictures. Avoid those at all costs. No quote unquote praying or air quotes, no, and studying the quote unquote word together in the dark, lonely room, or on a cold, rainy day. That's another no. No clothing. So careful with the mini skirts and the skin tight trousers. Gentlemen who have the trousers that have no breathing room and the lady can see the package and all of these things, the cleavage, exposure, etc., etc. All of these things, the tight muscle shirts, all of these things that will bring about some kind of arousal. You have to be careful. Low neckline, as I mentioned, the skimpy gowns, etc. No doing house chores for your fiance. No, man, what kind of business? None of that. You have to be careful of all of these things, right? and tongue in cheek, he's not paid your bride price, so careful, none of that. All right. So again, we would love to hear from you, whether on our Facebook page or right here on our YouTube channel. Or is it that I haven't seen any comments yet, studio, our producer? So is it that the persons are so caught up in this topic or in shock and awe that they are unable to type or comment or send in any voice notes? I don't know. So again, being chaste, CHASTE, during courtship. Let us know via WhatsApp, text, or voice notes, no longer than 30 seconds, to 876-997-3125 on the Love 101 Facebook page and the Love 101 YouTube channel. Or call our studio lines. Have a talk with us, man. 876-968-8327 to 8. And you can join right in. We want to hear from you. Great. Thank you for participating, Vivian or Vivian Sutton. Forgive me if I got your first name wrong. All right, it says, don't touch her. She's not your wife. Shun the appearance of evil by avoiding being alone or coming in physical contact with each other, including holding hands, sitting closely next to each other, etc. All right, stick a pin right there now. So first of all, Miss Sutton typed in all black letters, so you know so she's serious. But you're saying holding hands is a complete no, Miss Sutton. I would say I think that is an okay part, holding hands, but again, some might be a little more tempted to go for it. I don't know, but for me, holding hands seems to be a pretty okay. But again, Miss Sutton was very serious, typing in all caps. All right, Bishop, I hope you're hearing me. Can you hear me? And I'm hearing you. So I'm assuming you heard me go through the list of
I didn't.
All right, so basically I just spoke about some of the topics, or I should say some of the quick bullet points. No flirting, sex chats, and nude pictures. Sorry, I shouldn't say sex. I should say yada, according to Reverend Mike, right? No praying and studying the word quote unquote together in the dark. No seductive clothing, and I spoke about those items and the house chores, so to speak, for your fiance. That's a no. Avoid those things. All right, we're gonna slide. I don't think there's anything we have not covered, or you could say so if we haven't covered anything. But we want to slide right into, with your permission, into our final area of focus as we're closely approaching the end of a very interesting program. I don't think you've ever done a program that has never been interesting. Boy, you are just the magnet for interesting topics. So how realistic is this really, though, Doc? In terms of all of these do's and don'ts, they've seen some seem antiquated, outdated. We put in quote unquote hard and fast. You say you don't want to be hard and fast, but listen, you're being hard and fast. Okay, telling people themselves about this, that, and the third. These guidelines. What are we to do in these days? 2024, in know that you're in the past. What are we doing? What should we be doing in 2024 and beyond? Resources and agencies and all kind of help. Talk to me.
Pure sexual purity does not have a timeline. It is what God said it is. You understand? When I say I'm not being hard and fast, I mean, like I heard some of you saying that somebody says holding hand is no. And I understand why they say no.
Yes.
Because touch can also be a point of contact.
Yes.
And if you have romantic feeling for the person that you're dating, I'm sure you do, then that
even the holding of hands can get you into trouble.
Possibly be right. You can leave you off track. So I understand that. So, but sexual purity has no timeline. I think we must understand that it is what God said it is, and unless we are married, then we have boundaries, we have parameters. It's really based on your values. What's your value system? Have you communicated those to the person that are dating and courting? You understand? Do you understand what being in a committed relationship really means, and how far you go within the parameters of that? So I think if a person does not understand their own value, then you won't be able to communicate it clearly. You understand? You're saying one thing, but you're allowing another thing, and then that sends a mixed signal to your partner, who is probably not so focused on the values as you are, or who the enemy has been sitting in their back pocket.
All right, Doc. We're gonna try cut and go through because of how short the time is. But I want to ask you something. Let me see if it was something that I saw here. What happens if you fall below the guideline? What if you fail? What happens if what do you do? Oh no, sorry. Just before that, should you can say yes or no if that's what it takes. Should you literally then come to the table with these guidelines? Listen, this is where we stand. This is where we're drawing the line. I do 1, 2, 3. Come to the table. All right.
You should.
So come to the table. All right. So we'll get that out the way. Me drop the ball, Doc. How do I pick up the piece? Where do I go from there?
I'm so happy for 1 John 1, 8 and 9. If you sin, you can always ask God for forgiveness. I'm not saying you're going to be presumptuous.
Yes.
Right? I'm thanking God for grace that even in a case like that, the Lord is able to forgive you of all your sins if you confess them to Him. Then He's able, and not just confess them, because confessing is just acknowledging that God, you're right and I am wrong. But repenting is not not to do it again, not to put yourself in a place where it is liable to happen again. You're going to abstain, and you're going to stay away from anything. My husband would say, snake bite you, say lizard you run.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, so do not set yourself up for that. But if it does happen, then the Lord is here and He will help you. Do not stay in condemnation.
And just.
Romans 8 verses 1 tells you there is no, therefore, no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. Walk. Yeah, you continue. You get up, you brush yourself off, you ask God for forgiveness, you're restoring the relationship, and you're walking. No condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who walk after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Yes, right. There's hope for you to be forgiven. There's hope for you to get up back and have a clean slate.
Amen. Doc, we know say you is what would you say now? 101 are the par excellence, are the focus, are the you are the go-to. But give us some resources now. What would you say are things that persons can lean on and glean from when they are approaching this type of relationship, going into marriage, etc.? Talk to me.
Well, there are scores of books out there. The Dating Trap, or Safe People, by Henry Cloud. There are just different books that are out there. I would want to recommend my book, Sex as well, because the first 2 chapters are a theological treatise.
What do you mean you would want to recommend? I'm recommending.
It can be very sensual, all right?
Okay.
I wrote it for Christendom, and some aspects of it that persons who want to learn and understand sex and sexuality from a biblical basis can glean that. There's also the gym, the Grow Your Marriage Ministry. I have a course that I offer to single persons called MRI. It's MRI sounds like a medical term, but it really means marriage readiness intelligence.
Let me stick a pin right there. You were saying it's a medical term. There needs to be some intervention medical for a lot of these things, you know. You might have hit something there. Trust me.
So it's a marriage readiness intelligence. It's a 6-week course. It starts online on Zoom. The next cohort will be beginning in July. So persons can register for that. Then we have the On Your Mark, which is for courting couples now. So the MRI is for single people, you know, who just want to understand more about themselves, how to do relationship, how to embrace their singleness, self-awareness, self-acceptance.
They go to your website. Sorry to just store it. Where do they go?
Carla Dunbar Ministries. So Carla, send us a message. Say you want to register for any one of the courses. The courses that for courting couple, the courses for single persons,
yes,
and your courses for married persons as well. It's a Grow Your Marriage Academy online.
I wanna say it again because I think I rushed over it. But again, MRI is a medical term. But again, I say that to say there are many persons that need that type of medical, so to speak, spiritual intervention, right? That is that healing and to be able to navigate some of these things. So trust me, if that was a divine thing that happened there.
You said earlier we talked about abstaining and understand how abstaining is good for you. Being chaste is good for you as a person because of everything that comes with being involved when God tells you not to. The whole soulmate thing and the whole spirits and all of those things that can be associated and attached to you sexually engaging out of the proper context of marriage. So it's really about your safety. It's not about us wanting to tell you what to do. It's really about us looking out for you and your safety and doing what God has asked you to do to honor God.
Boy, when it comes to this time, we have to do we're closing, winding down. But could you speak to us in terms of an encouragement, quick recap to just a quick overview and words of encouragement and a charge to those who maybe have fallen, those who are going towards marriage, and those who are looking to engage in this most noble of institutions, which is marriage, the ministry called marriage.
So yesterday, my husband and I were looking at building blocks for healthy families this month. And yesterday, my husband and I shared our over 45 years of experience together. And one of the things we understand, when we say in 1 Corinthians, in Hebrews 13:4, it says, marriage is honorable. We'll stop right there. Marriage is honorable to who? To God.
Yes.
Because it is honorable to Him, then we seek to honor Him with our bodies. 1 Corinthians 6 tells us that your body belongs to the Lord. It doesn't belong to you. You're a good steward and you must steward over it. You understand? And keep it in line with what God says you have to keep it in line with. And remember, He's not doing it just for Himself. He's doing it for you. Right? So whilst marriage is honorable, whilst sexual intercourse and intimacy is great, God made it, there are boundaries that are in keeping with what God says. So we'll say, understand who you are as a young person. Understand what you're about as a young person. Entering into a relationship to go into marriage is really a good thing, right? But keep yourself and your sexual purity in view. Understand what your values are and stick to them. Set the boundaries that you need to set to ensure that you do not give way to temptation and fall into sexual sin, because it's going to be hard. And not only that, remember the other person too. Love seeks the good of the other person, right? You're not only endangering yourself, but you're endangering somebody else. So bear those things in mind. When you think about courting and dating, it's supposed to lead to something that is good and wholesome, and 100% you're committed in that relationship. Sex blurs the whole thing. Sexual intercourse.
Sorry to interrupt. That we have to cut it right there. Listen, as I said, producer, we need another part to get to wrap this all up. But Doc, it was an amazing time to spend with you. Thank you for your nuggets and your information, your wealth of knowledge that you've so generously and graciously shared with us. Thanks for being here with us. If you have any questions or a personal nature or are concerned about a friend or family member, call us. For more information on our services or for our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island, contact our head office at 876-920-1034, 876-926-8101. Note that for appointments and information on costs, you must call the offices. Otherwise, to keep up to date with what's happening with FLM and our programs, check us on our Facebook page at FLM-Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries-FLMJA, and on Instagram at simply FLMJA. Scripture reading for this evening is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Join us again next week for another informative program. Thanks again to our special guest, Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, our show producer, Kathy Gale, studio facilitator, Timoy Butler. I'm O'Neill Campbell. Take care. Until next time.